All right, so the next question says, looking to get into lead gen and I have a nice domain I found aimed at contractors nationally. What's the best way to go about building lead gen properties these days? Would you just get a GMB and do mass page? Thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, if you can get a GMB, it's still, in my opinion, the best way to do lead gen. Good luck with that. It's very difficult to get GMBs right now. It's really hard to do much of anything with GMBs right now. I found as far as like new ones or making edits and stuff. Google's real suspension happy, so I would be really careful. And good luck trying to get it. I mean, I hope you can, but I know it's been difficult to get GMBs recently, or last few months. So, what do you say, Marco?
Well, the spammed listings are not only hard to get, but hard to keep.
Hard to keep
because when you get them, as soon as you start going and making changes, Google suspends it. And then they make you show paperwork, they make you re-verify, which is the whole point. I mean, their whole point, they want to know if you're legit. And if you can't re-verify, you can't show the paperwork, then you can't get it back. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to try to recover something that you know isn't legitimate in the first place. Makes absolutely no sense. However, the method that you've always shown, the Semantic Mastery way, which is going to PO box with street address, still works really well. Those will sometimes get suspended.
Yeah.
Even that, but it's less likely to get suspended. Now, guys, I'm not going to mention the companies, but be really careful when you're using an API to publish content into your GMB, to publish scheduled content, because some of those have a muddied IP. Google has tagged it with suspicious activity, and it's a really good way to get suspended. Right? So be really careful what it is that you're doing with those. To this day, the original training in local GMB Pro says add a manager. Never again go back in as the owner. I stand by that. I've only had one GMB suspended with a manager. So out of all of this, out of everything that we've been doing, the way that has worked for me, the original training in local GMB Pro, you add a manager and let the manager go in and like, well, I'm not going to go through the whole training, but try not to make any changes once you've sent for the pin. Once you have that pin, like, you should never go in again except to post and add pictures, and that's it. Never again do anything else, no changes, because it will get suspended if you make major changes, especially NAP category that it's in. Any of those, even slight changes. I once added a video to one, or the VA added a video, and it wasn't even it's not anything major, adding a video, and they got suspended. But then again, it wasn't something that was truly legit. It was, as a matter of fact, post office box with street address, but we recovered it. We were able to recover that.
Wow.
So just be really careful. Just be really careful what you do, because Google is out for blood right now. They're suspending a whole bunch of them. And they'd rather suspend you and have you legitimize the GMB than to not suspend you and let you get away with an illegitimate or a spam GMB. That's the way that they're doing this right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I had a client, or I have a client, excuse me, that when I plugged it into a GMB post scheduler through the API, it showed that there was like no physical address associated with the GMB, and it was weird. And so I actually reached out to GMB support, and I was wondering why I was having such a hard time getting the GMB to move correctly, or to move or to respond to the things that I was doing to it like they normally do. And once I discovered that there was an incorrect backend physical location associated with it, or really none at all. When I plugged it in the API, it would show you, and by the way, you can figure that out, where the location is of a GMB by plugging it into something like Bright Local has a GeoGrid search report tool now. So if you get the CID for service area business GMB URL and plug it in, it'll show you the center point where Google thinks that the business is registered. And it was interesting because this was like way out in the middle of like nowhere. It was weird. It was like in a park or some shit. Like seriously, like some crazy big national park or something. So there's nothing there, no buildings or anything. And so I was wondering why it wouldn't respond. And when I plugged in the API, that's what revealed that to me. And that's when I started like realizing that some GMBs don't have on the back end an actual physical location title, or it's incorrect, especially for service area businesses. So anyways, I contacted Google support, and they said, go ahead and change your, like I got this reply back from Google support. It said, go ahead and add the GMB or the address. Even though it was a service area business, they said, go ahead and add the address, but it's likely going to, and the support told me this, it's likely going to trigger re-verification. And so I contacted the client and I said, this is what they replied. I say we go ahead and do it because the maps listing is not responding the way that it should be. And I feel like we're going to constantly be fighting an uphill battle. They said, go ahead and do it. So I did it. And fortunately, in that case, because they have a physical location that was verifiable, all that was required, though, was the postcard, just the standard US mail verification. And within 7 days or so, we had the card, verified it, and it's responding better. It's still going to take a little bit of time, but it's coming back. So if you can't, like what Marcus said, if you can't re-verify something, don't even bother trying, is really the point. So the follow-up question is, would you just get GMB and do mass page? I don't do mass page stuff, period. I just don't. I don't like to do it. It's not that it can't work. It might work, but I'm not the person to ask, or I don't know that we are. Maybe Marco could shed some insight on it.
Land Solutions Network is a mass page build with a WordPress, like front end with WordPress pages. Mass page build. It's there to this day. I made it public. It's there for people to spam, to report. It gets, you see it, it gets leads to this day because I post them in the group whenever one comes in in a place where I'm not working. I posted one from Hawaii the other day. I posted another one from Arizona. There were some from Florida that Chris Pilwin got, Chris G got some. So if you do it right, there's a reason why a mass page build can't work. But it just requires a little bit more work than what people are willing to put in. Yeah. To kind of, in air quotes, to kind of legitimize the build.